Well, hello everybody, nice of you to join me again. I thought I'd bring you back to Berry Head again this morning and see what photographs I could get of the sunrise, and maybe try to get some more minimalist photographs of the seascapes. Really enjoyed last weekend, although I got a little wet. As you can see, the sun's just started to rise, so I better stop filming and start taking photographs. So this first scene I was trying to take a photograph of, you can see I'm waiting for the sun to come up and give me some lovely light on the water. And the first two photographs I took were basically for reference. I was shooting in raw format, so the images were a bit flat, so I had to do some post-processing to bring them back to what the scene actually looks like, apart from maybe the sun star, which looks a bit like the beginning of the Teletubbies. Only needs a smile. If for those of you who don't know the difference between the different files, a raw file, the camera is trying to capture as much detail as possible to give you more options in post-processing. If you choose to photograph in JPEGs, then the camera is trying to give you the best approximation of what you can actually see. So this first image I'd put on a 10-stop ND filter, which allowed me a 30-second exposure, and as you can see, that made the water very smooth. Gave me a bit of blur in the clouds as they were moving past. And then in post-processing I have brought up the saturation a little bit, and I've brought the shadows up a bit as well, so you can see a little bit of green in the foreground and a lot of colour in the middle of the shot. This next image is the same image, all I've done is cropped it down a bit just to try and frame it a little better. You can see the horizon's almost dead on the top third, and the two rocks are dead in the middle, and I like the way the sun is shining right between them. I'd planned that the day before using photo pills so that I knew where to stand in the morning. And this is the last shot of this sort of set of three, where I'd cropped in a little bit closer. Again, I've brought up the saturation, I've brought up the oranges and the blues a bit, and it gives a pretty artificial looking photograph, I guess, but I just quite like it. So the last image I took of the scene was this one, and the sun had come up a bit further. I was able to get a nice sun star at f8. I was still at 30-second exposure, but because the sun was higher in the sky and the sky was brighter, that meant the shadows were darker, and I quite liked the contrast. Oh, well, you can see I've moved position a little bit. The sun's rising over there, but all the light is being cast on these cliffs behind me, so I decided to change my position and take a photograph or two of those. As you can see, it's getting a bit chilly now. I've had to put another layer on. Oh, also the wind's got up a bit as well. Anyway, I'll take a few more photographs and show you how they come out. Well, in the end, there was only this one shot that I was really happy with. As you can see, it's very colourful. I actually had to turn the saturation down a little so the photograph didn't look too artificial. But the sun was very kind, gave me some lovely light, and this is what I ended up with. So it's gone a bit dull, so I've packed away the tripod, I've put the long lens on, and I'm going to See if I can get some wildlife photographs. Yeah, let's go. So this is a spot down in the quarry beside Berry Head where I'd seen some stone chats before, so I came down to see if they were still there, and sure enough they were. So with the 350mm lens on, you can see I had a 500th of a second exposure, and I had my ISO set at auto, so this one came out at 2000. Nice crisp image of the bird, and I was lucky enough to sort of position myself so that I could see some of the sort of pinky red rocks of the quarry behind. Also, the focal length gave me that very nice blurred background. Same with this one, I just moved around slightly, and I managed to get a picture of both Mr. and Mrs. And again, very blurred in the background, and you can separate the bird and the perch it's on from the background. It's great. In contrast, the next image I'm going to show you was taken from a different angle, and there was more vegetation in the background. You can see it's a little bit closer and just don't get that separation. I tried to blur out the background with a bit by reducing the clarity a bit, but you can see it just looks a little bit artificial. Best to get onto the eye level of the bird and look for what's in the background and try and make it as minimal as possible. Well, I think I'm going to call it a day now. Thanks for coming along. The cloud seems to be going a little now. We're getting some sunshine. Just seen some dolphins as well. Unfortunately, I didn't get any film with that, but I've got some photographs of just their fins, just to go to prove the dolphins are still around this time of year. Well, I was really lucky to get these two shots. It was very difficult to see the dolphins in the choppy water. I could see some splashes and then I could see some birds above, so I thought they must be there. So I just got the lens out, concentrated on the sea, and luckily enough these couple popped up just in the right place. Some interesting markings on that first Dolphin, as you can see. So thank you for joining me. If you like the video, then hit my subscribe button and give me a like, and I'll see you next week. But for now, cheerio.